So let's go ahead and take a look at the new infotainment system setup with the updated chipset, which is going to be the Ryzen chipset and the version 11 of the software itself. If you go to the car, you can see a lot of information straight off the bat. You have your controls for your light. You can fold your mirrors. You have child lock, windows lock, glove box, and it's all accessible directly from the main controls. You can also see where your recording is, your Sentry, adjust your steering wheel, and the brightness. This is it for that section. Next, you would go to pedals and steering. Here you can set up if you want to have a chill acceleration or more of a sport acceleration. Same thing goes for the steering, and stopping mode if you wanted to do hold, roll, or creep. I recommend hold just because it regenerates some of the power back to the battery and uses the regenerative charging. And when you look at the charging itself, here you have daily, trip, and you can make that adjustment to how much you want to charge it. I usually put it close to 90%, between 85, since on a daily basis I don't have to drive as much, and a 85% charge can last me usually 3 to 4 days depending on driving habit. But you would set all of this up in here and you'll see this information. Now when it comes to autopilot, your autopilot is all set up as well in here. You have auto steer, which is the beta version of it, full self-driving visualization review, so you'll be able to see the stop signs, the lights as you're driving. And you can also set speed limit, current speed. You can make those adjustments. Offset, you can be fixed or percentage. So all of that can be done from this menu itself. Speed limit warning, you can have a display or a chime. If you have a chime, anytime you go over the speed limit, you will get a small thing and that will notify you that you're going faster than the speed limit. I just recommend display because if you tend to go a little bit over the speed limit, you will get that chime very frequently. Speed limit is going to be relative or absolute, and you can offset that as well. Forward collision warning, I have it set to medium. My preference is either early or medium. You don't want it late or off because that can cause some issues on how much you actually want to prevent the collision in the front of you. Late does it really late. Medium is a little bit better. If you want to have the safest version, then you go to early. Lane departure, I have it set to warning as well, which you'll get a notification, more of a you'll see the lines on the screen, as well as you can have assist where it will push you back into the lane if you are veering off of it. If that happens without a turn signal, it'll do the same thing. So I just have it set to warning. You also have emergency lane departure avoidance, automatic emergency braking, obstacle aware acceleration, traffic aware cruise control. Now next thing is going to be the locks. Here you can set up your keys. You can add keys, you can remove, you can add your phone. So all of this stuff will be set up here. You have your window lock, your child lock, and save those settings. A walkaway door lock, this is something that I really like. I have it as not excluding the home because I do want the car to lock itself, being that once I walk up to it, it will unlock. Driver door unlock mode, I don't care that it unlocks all the doors, so I don't necessarily need that preference on. Unlock on park, that's something that I have set up as well. And car left open notifications, I do include that and don't exclude home because I want to be notified in case I didn't close the door properly or if I left something open. The next one is lights. So for your headlights, I have it set up as auto. You can do on, parking, or off. Again, personal preference. You have your fog lights, you have dome lights, which is going to be these internal lights. So if you turn on, you will see some of the dome lights turn on in the car. You can have it as auto. I just keep them off because the screen tends to be bright enough for what I need to see, so don't really care for it. Ambient lights, you can have that on as well. Anywhere there's lighting in the car, that will turn on. Auto high beam, I have that set up as auto. I do want to engage it. Headlights after exit, don't care for that. And steering wheel lights. Steering wheel lights will put the lights on the controls, where you can change the volume or engage the voice activation, but I don't care about those lights either. If you do, you go ahead and enable that and you have that option. Now when it comes to appearance, there's been some changes. Now you have dark mode where you can put it in dark mode, and I actually do like this. I just have it set up as auto for right now while I'm getting into the software, just getting more used to it. You have the auto adjust on the brightness. You have screen clean mode, and then you can select your languages, time, energy display. Some people like distance, so if you click distance you can see 180 miles. I like the percentage overall. That's something a little bit easier for me. Tire pressure and temperature. This is all personal preference. Now when it comes to trips, here you have where you can set up your trips, how much energy used, you can reset it. I do like this better than when it was here. Just again, this is my preference on the information. So odometer, this has 300 miles, and you can see exactly total energy consumed and through that process. Now we have navigation. You have automatic navigation, trip planner, and online routing. All of that is turned on. You have your navigation volume. You can adjust that in case you're listening to music and it steps over and starts talking over your music and you don't like that. You can lower the volume since you can see it on the screen. You can also set up to avoid ferries, avoid tolls, and use HOV lanes. Safety, allow mobile access. You have power off, speed limit mode, how fast you set it up. So if you're giving somebody this car, be it your child or your mom or somebody, you can go ahead and put the speed limit to what the max that they can drive, and you can even do that from your phone. Sentry mode I have on, and I have it excluding certain areas. And view live camera via app, that is something pretty cool that you can do now, so I have that enabled as well. Dash cam, I have it set to auto. And then you have Joe mode, security alarm, pin to drive, glove box, pin, and park assist chimes. The format USB drive and delete dash cam clips are the dash cam clips, deleting them is new. Before you have to just format the whole drive, so it's much easier now. You also have cabin overheat protection, which I have to set to on. If you go to service, this is where if you have the Model Y Performance or the Model 3s, you have the matrix headlights, and those you can do calibration on. So adjust headlights, if you click on that, you'll get an option and you can adjust those headlights. And you can see them. I recommend doing it anywhere where at night, because you can see how far the distance is. When I received the car first, they were set a little bit lower than I preferred, and it showed the ground more than what I could see a little bit further, so I moved them up a little bit. You can also do other changes in the system with car wash mode. You have the owner's manual, wheel configuration. If you click on wheel configuration, you can see what the options are. If you change that, it will change it on the car, but these are on the 21, so we'll keep it on that one. But most of this stuff will be done by service itself. You can, if you feel comfortable with, you can make those adjustments as well. Now when we go to software, here you can see some of the information where you can name your car, and you'll see the color with the newest update, and that can be changed. So if you click on it, you have the option to change the vehicle's color, and you'll notice it on the screen. It does change. You have metallic, matte, solid. If you just want to go back to your previous color, if you click that, it will just go back to the color that it was. Now here just gives you more information about your vehicle. You'll have what autopilot package you have, premium connectivity, how long you have it if it expires, and if it's renewable. You have software update preference. I highly recommend putting this in advanced if you want the newest updates. You can also go to data sharing. In the data sharing, you would be selecting yes and no to collecting data. Some of these might impact how fast you might get some of the softwares, because having your data does help out. Additional vehicle information is where you can find all the other information: audio system premium, what chipset you have, if you have a garage door installed, and if it's CS adapter support. So you have a lot of information there as well. Now, next one is going to be upgrades. If you click on upgrades, you have your premium connectivity. You can go ahead and enable that. Now, this is in car. Before you had to do it on the app, and you can go ahead and sign up for it if you would like to have that feature. Now, this isn't it when it comes to the software. You have access to the browser. So if you click on your entertainment, you have the browser. You can go to different websites. I have it on a Better Theater now just to test out. This gives you access to more applications than what's included, so it's just something that you have also access to. If you go to Toybox, here you can make a lot of changes. You can have the colorize, which we discussed. You have the light show, which is pretty cool. This is where I think Tesla will create eventually some form of an app store or a customization feature, so you can customize and add more light shows and add more stuff to the car without having to wait for a major update. This is what Apple did with their original iPhones. People were sideloading in stuff, and eventually they had to create an app store, and it became really popular. So I think Tesla can utilize the same feature and give people a lot more access. People have created light shows now. The thing about those is that it does require some knowledge of how to do it. You have your Boombox. Some people might actually be getting an update where some of these features might go away, just because of the front speaker was causing some overall people walking and distractions, so they've decided that they might need to go away from it, because you have driving sound, and I think that's the biggest part. The driving sound will go away. And then you have emissions, so you can go ahead and make your car fart and do all of that stuff on demand. Fart on turn signal, fart on demand by pressing on the scrolling wheel, and you can go ahead and make it different ones. Overall, it's a fun little thing, especially if you have kids. You have tracks. If you want to go ahead and create your own music, you can kind of play around with it. Again, this is to kill some time. Romance, if you're sitting and you want to get cozy, you can go ahead and you and your significant other, you can just have a moment. Sketchpad, if you want to draw, and it's pretty quick. And this is where you'll notice the difference between the Intel and the Ryzen processors, because the Intel does tend to snag on some occasions on certain areas, but not with the Ryzen. The Ryzen tends to run much better. And then you have Mars. You can set your planetary screen as Mars, and then you have Santa. So during Christmas, this is fun. Jingle all the way and spread the cheer, and it creates your autopilot as the Santa mode. Now you have arcade. You have multiple games. We have not gotten one game that a lot of people are expecting, which is going to be Sonic, but we do have Polytopia. We have the new game for Sudoku, Skyforce, Solitaire, Fallout Shelter, and we have Stardew Valley. We also have Backgammon, Beach Buggy Racing 2, Chess 2048. So those are the games that you have. Now when you go to theater, you have a new edition of TikTok. We do have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, YouTube, Twitch, and you have your Tesla tutorials. This is where you can go ahead and get your content while you're sitting waiting. You can't drive and watch, but at least you have some access to it. Now, if you click here, you'll have an option to customize your bottom screen. So if you click and hold, you can move an icon down here. Now, if you see, at the moment we have two icons here, which are apps that we just ran, and it does a really good job at saving the area where we left. But if you add another screen, so let's say we want energy down here, or another icon, it will remove your recent apps only down to one. And this is as many as you can add. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is opening up the app tray, and then you have your recent open. The opening up the app tray makes it much easier to access your applications. Some people like the older style display or the UI. This one is growing on a lot of people, and I think if they enable what they're planning with the App Store and more apps, this will be coming in handy just because of how easy the access is. But you have Bluetooth, you have your dash cam, you have energy calendar, messages, theater, arcade, Toybox, title, karaoke, all at your disposal right there. Next, you have your option to change your climate in the car. You can schedule it. Here you have the biohazard activation, so if you click on that, it will activate the biohazard. It does increase the volume of the fan. It increases it fairly a lot. Again, you have your heated wipers. Anybody that has heated wipers will have this option. Heated steering wheel. You have heated seats, and you can access that right there. And you also have a view of the rear, so if you want to have heated seats in the back, you have an option to that as well. I wish they would also put in the front, since they give you a whole car view, but I wish it was just this display. Makes it easier. But again, doing this isn't too hard either. You can also set it to auto. You just have to remove a couple of other things to do that. You also have circulate the air inside, so right next to the biohazard. And that part is pretty much that. If you click on here, it takes you directly to the charging setup. You can open the trunk, lock the car, open the port, and defrunk. That's version 11 of the software with the performance of the AMD Ryzen processor. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Hit the like and subscribe button, and thank you for watching.